All right, we are live. Our Tuesday night Q&A. How's everybody doing tonight?
Hello, everyone.
You have any questions? Go to the comment section. We only have about 5 questions tonight.
Yeah, about that yet.
Um, and so this will be a short one unless you guys have some questions. We do have a couple events coming up. Thursday, we have our investor mixer at the Crown Plaza Hotel in Greenbelt. So it's a good opportunity to get out and meet some other investors. Free food. Come with questions. Come ready to network with one another. So we did this last month. It was a great success. We also have a lunch and learn on Friday. So we talk often about creative financing strategies. And so one of the creative financing strategies is lease options, rent with an option to buy. And so I'm going to be going over lease options. So I'll do a talk on that at the lunch and learn. This is a great market for lease options. One of the first properties I ever bought was a lease option. So I will be talking about that on Friday, and then Saturday we have a shadow event. And so we're going to look at foreclosed properties in Baltimore where you can, well, I'm going to pull some foreclosures off the foreclosure list, and we're going to take a look at these properties. And I'm going to tell you why these properties make for good investment opportunities. We'll look at about 3 properties, and then we'll go to a nice restaurant, probably in Little Italy, and just network and talk about what we just looked at and what we do next. And so we've got a number of events. We'd love to have you guys at all the events, or at least one or two. You should be getting some emails from us. That's it. Keith, what questions do you have?
Yeah, thanks, Greg. So, Greg, is ironically enough, the questions are all centered around Baltimore, and so here we
Okay.
go. So, Jade has some questions, kind of a multiple question, but I'm going to break it up regarding water in Baltimore. How do you set up water for Baltimore multi-units? And the add on to that question is, do you install a water heater for each unit?
Hey, Keith.
Yeah. Can't hear me?
I don't know.
Okay.
Are you muted?
No. Hello? I can go back out and come back in.
What'd you say?
Let me go back out and I'll come back in.
Okay. So Keith's going to go out and come back in. You guys go to the comment section. Let me know if you guys can hear me. I couldn't hear Keith. And then also, if you guys have questions about anything, let me know. I think he's got a couple questions about Baltimore. Most of us live here in DMV, in DC, Prince George's County. But we do a lot of investing in Baltimore because the cash flow is just a lot better. The cost of entry is a lot lower. The cost of living is a lot lower. Candace said she could hear Keith. Okay. Maybe it's me.
Can you hear me now?
Go ahead, Keith.
Hello? Yeah, Greg. So the question is, and it comes from Jade, how do you set up water for Baltimore multi-units? Can't hear me?
Hey, Keith, hold on. I think it's on my end.
Okay. Bear with us, folks. There's some little technical difficulty here.
Oh, that's what it is.
Says everyone can see and hear me.
That's what it is. I got it.
You're muted also, Greg.
Okay, I'm good now. Go ahead and start all over.
Okay, Greg. Yeah. So this question comes from Jade, and her questions are about Baltimore water. So how do you set up water for Baltimore multi-units? And then the add-on question to that is, do you install a water heater for each unit or install sub-meters?
It just depends on what's set up when you purchase the property. So you go to I don't know I don't know if I don't know what I forget the name of the water company in Baltimore. It could be WSSC. And it just depends. If she said it's a 6 unit, if the 6 unit is separately metered, then it'll have a separate water meter. Now, in most cases, there's just one water meter for all the units, but if it's separately metered, then each unit will have its own water meter, and they'll have all that at the water company, and it could be WSSC. If not, then she just pays one water bill, but she charges the rent accordingly because she's going to rent those properties out. If there's no water meter, if it's not separately metered, she's going to rent those properties out, and she's going to pay all the utilities, or at least all the water. So she's going to charge a little more for that. So it's either they're separately metered, and the water company will have each meter, and they'll come by and read each meter, or they'll just be one meter for the whole building.
Right. And that was her follow-up question, Greg. Do you cover water? Do you, as I guess the landlord, cover water and then charge the tenants at a higher rate?
Yeah.
And then the other question to that is there a way to set it up so that each unit is metered by the city?
You can set it up, but it's expensive. If it's not already separately metered, she can get it separately metered, but that's I wouldn't do that. It's just too expensive to do and too time consuming, permits, all that. She would just charge more for the rent.
Okay. Those are some good questions. So I think that's something that we would want to know, especially if we're looking at multi-unit properties.
Well, you can drive by and just generally the meters are on the front of the building, so you can drive by to see if it's separately metered or not.
Mm-hmm.
And generally on a 6-unit building, you should see 7 meters. So 6 for the 6 units, and then 1 for the common area, like the hallway, things like that.
Right. Right. And so, Greg, here's another question. This is by Dana. I don't know if he's on the line just yet, but his question is regarding the complexity of tenant removal in Baltimore, and how does tenant removals compare to DC and Prince George's County?
It's the same. It's the same. So you take them if they, depending on the situation, if they stop paying the rent, then you take them to landlord tenant court. You file for failure to pay. You get a court date, and then after the court date, at the court date generally takes about 2 weeks, and then generally the judge will give them, an extra 30 days to pay. They come back. They don't pay. You get another court date, and then you can file for eviction. So you pay for the court date, and then you pay the sheriff for the eviction, and then the sheriff will come and evict them. So it's the same as up this way.
Okay. Does Baltimore have sheriffs like Prince George's?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I've had a few tenants in Baltimore evicted.
Mm. Well, Greg, that's all the questions that came in this week. I don't know if anyone else out there has questions or things on their mind that they want to bring up. Now's the time to do it.
I'd like to hear from Candace and see what she thought of the shadow event on Saturday with Marquise. Type in the comment section, Candace. What was your impression for last Saturday?
I'm sure she picked up some men's terms.
I think she seemed kind of thrilled, intrigued.
It was a master class, though, like you said. Wow.
Yeah, that was good. Well, let me ask you: is that something that you think you might be interested in?
I don't know, to be honest. I guess I'd have to see the finished product, but I like the concept. I think my challenge would be to find that perfect tenant for that situation. And I don't know how hard or easy that is. You know, he was breaking it down as to the type of tenant that he was looking for.
Yeah, can you still see me?
Yeah.
I got to thinking. I'm not sure if that's something that I would want to do. I'd like to hear from maybe Dana and see what he. Dana, I'm gonna email you a link. I'd like to hear from Dana to see exactly what he thought.
Okay, he made it on the call, Greg.
Yeah, he's on
okay.
here. Dana, text me your email address because I think I have the wrong one. I'd like to hear from Dana to see what he thought.
Mm-hmm.
And Candace, you do the same. Text me your email address. I can put you guys on here real quick. And just get your opinions on what we looked at.
Yeah, I definitely like the concept, though. But again, I guess I need to see the finished product.
Okay. I don't know, Dana. I just emailed Dana. The email address I think he has.
Is it with Dana.Lewis61?
Is that him?
Yeah. Let me see if I can pull it up.
You said Dana.Lewis?
Oh, no. Dana Lewis61 at Gmail. LEWIS, Dana Lewis61 at gmail.com.
All right. So I just sent it to him. I'd like to get his opinion. He asked a lot of questions. I'm torn between the models, so I wouldn't mind getting his because what Marquise did was he just basically check your email, Dana. He just basically went in there and just tore the property up. He turned the living room into a bedroom, turned the dining room into a bedroom, cut the kitchen in half,
mm-hmm.
and made part of the kitchen a bathroom. He did so downstairs, main level is 2 bedrooms and 1 bath. And then upstairs there was 3 bedrooms and 1 bath. He took 1 bedroom and made it a full bath. So upstairs he's got 2 bedrooms and 2 full baths upstairs. And then in the basement he's got a bedroom and a bath.
Yeah.
So all in all, he's got 5 bedrooms and 4 full baths. And he's renting them out. How much is he renting them out for, Keith?
$825. But the rent on the contract, I think, is $1,075 or something like that. But if you pay on the first, and not later, it's $875.
Right. Right.
And he was getting 1,500, he said, or something like that per building.
Yeah. And so let's see. Dana's got a new email address. Let's see.
He's calling me. Let me answer his call, Greg. Oh, he just hung up.
I got him now.
Okay.
Sorry, you guys. I just want to get Dana's Dana, you should have it now. Dana's opinion on what he thought Saturday was like. In the meantime, we've got a couple questions. Zager's asking, what kind of tenants would that be good for? And so what Marquise was trying to do was put all men there, older men. I think he said 55 and over.
Yeah, 50s, 60s, introverted types.
Introvert that just needed a room. And that's all he was offering is a room. He put TVs in there. He put beds in there. He's going to put a refrigerator in there. He texted me later that day. Found some refrigerators that would actually fit into the closets. So he furnished the rooms. And so all anyone would have to do is just move in. So it's not for everyone. Veterans, it could be good for veterans. So it's not good for everybody. But those are the type of tenants. Like he's looking for males. But I guess females would work for that as well. Candace has a question. She says, I have a question about financing. For example, if we find a property at the auction, here's Dana here. If we find a property at the auction, what are our options for paying for it without using our own money? So at the auction, Candace, you have to use your own money. I mean, you could partner. Example, you could partner with Dana, and Dana, you found the property. Dana puts up the money. You guys could do it like that, but you can't really do creative financing strategies with auction properties. I hope that answers your question. Mr. Dana.
Hey, I'm in.
What do you think about Saturday?
I thought Saturday was great. And I heard everything that you were saying leading up, so I'm not going to make you repeat it. So my thoughts are, I like that, what Marquise is doing. I like that because it's basically what I'm doing now is just with Marquise, there's no agency between he and the client. So actually, his idea is either to me a close neck to neck, or maybe a tad better because he's more long term. You know, Marquise plans for them cats to, die in his property. You know what I mean? So that's really because I'm experienced the turnover. I'm experienced. That's the part I don't enjoy. You know, with the agencies, and you can experience turnover with any clientele, but I like what Marquise is doing, and I really would like to model that. I would like to copy that what he's doing. It's in my mind. I'm really starting to focus on that now.
Yeah, I think. Go ahead, Keith.
So Dana, are you looking to? You probably know where this question is leaning, but are you starting to think a little bit more about doing business in Baltimore?
Yes, I am. I am because, and I'm still not looking forward to that travel, but from a perspective of dollars and cents, yes.
Right.
Yes.
So
it's a lot of money in Prince George's County, and I'm looking to not spend so much money next time.
What I like about Baltimore, and I own a few in Baltimore, The cash flow is great. Once you get used to going up there, it's I mean, depending on where in Baltimore,
Yeah.
it could take you 40 minutes, 50 minutes. You just get used to the drive. And I generally go up about maybe once a week, once every other week. But especially like all of my properties are Section 8, except for I have a 2-unit in Dundalk that they pay market rate, but they're going to be there forever. They've been there forever. I've owned that property for about 5 years in Dundalk, and they've been my tenants ever since. They pay on time. I just got their checks this morning. They mail them in. And that property is appreciated. I think it's worth, the 2 units worth about, I don't know, maybe 190 now. And I bought it for 50. And so it's appreciated.
Wow.
And it's
How
cash.
long ago did you buy that? How long ago did you buy that?
I'm gonna say 5 years, but it could be longer than that.
So great, and that was me. That I guess I don't know. Keep announced that was my question. I missed it because I got on late. But about the complexity of getting tenants out in Baltimore.
So it's the same as anywhere else.
Well, DC is not the same.
What's the difference?
DC is much more difficult, it seems, in the district.
The difficulty is, to me, whether or not some judges are more lenient than others. Like you go to court, you get a court date. The judge will say, okay, you're behind. I'm going to give you 30 more days or 60 more days to come up with the payments. They don't come up with the payments. Now you got to get another court date. Then the judge will say, okay, I'm going to give you 60 days to vacate. So now you got to, get a, you got to get the sheriff to come and evict. So some jurisdictions are more lenient than others in terms of the amount of days, but
Right.
they don't just let the tenant just stay there. Like, and there's not a lot of hoops. If you get a court date, they'll listen. They generally favor, they're tenant friendly, but eventually they're like, enough's enough. And so I went through that with a property in Baltimore, a couple properties in Baltimore, where we got court date. I was gave them time. They still didn't pay. We started the process to evict them. On the day of eviction, we went there, and they came running up. And guess what happened?
Wow.
They had the money. So they had the money. Yeah, and they're still in that property. This was about 3 or 4 years ago.
Wow.
So they found that money.
Okay.
Because the number one need that we all have in life is shelter.
Okay.
If we don't have shelter, we want shelter before we even want food. We want to know that we got a place to stay other than the street.
Right.
And so they came up with it. But then oftentimes for a lot of other reasons, you just got to get the tenants out. Either they're not paying, or they're tearing up your property, or they're using your property to sell drugs, or whatever it is. And but the system in Baltimore is just like, I haven't experienced anything different from evicting in DC, Baltimore, and PG County.
So I have another question. Maybe you can answer this, maybe you can't. In Baltimore, or just period, to get a rental license, the room rental, because that came up when we were together at Marquise's place. The room, do they frown on room rentals? That type of rental?
That's a good question. Do they frown on room rentals? So I had this discussion with Marquise Sunday and then today. And here's how you do it. And I'm going to give you guys better information on this. But you rent the property out as an LLC. So you have an LLC as the tenant. Then you make each tenant a member of the LLC.
Okay.
That's how you get around room rentals. That's how you get around short-term rentals. That's how you get around all those. There's one tenant, and that's the LLC. And then you make each tenant, and in Marquise's case, 5, each members of the LLC. And so then you can remove members of the LLC when they move out. You can add members of the LLC when new people move in. And so that's how you get around any type of room rental. Like I said, short-term rental, that kind of thing.
Remember you talking about that. And it sounded, I heard you say it's not a really complicated process. It was just a matter of paperwork. Is what you said?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Now, I'll have more information. I've got a couple of my members that are in my mastermind that specialize. One specializes in student housing, and he's talked about that. And the other, Sam Wiegert, you guys can look him up. He specializes in co-living. And so he talked to us. Huh?
Sam Wiegert?
Yeah, look him up, and somebody put in the comment section the correct spelling, but look him up on Instagram. It's Sam. I think it's Weegart. Somebody look him up just to make sure I spelled it right. It's actually Sam Weegert. Samuel Weegert.
W-E-G what?
E-R-T.
Oh, Wiegert. Okay. And he specializes in
co-living.
Co-living.
I call it luxury co-living of what he does, but it's co-living. So it's similar. So now Marquise is Karen's got it. Sam Wiegert. So now Marquise is following him and really studying him for the co-living, what Marquise is doing.
Okay.
So Sam Wiegert, Weegert. So I'll see him. I'll meet him for the first time at the end of this month. We have our semi-annual mastermind meeting. And I'll get some leases and see exactly how he does it. But that's how he does it. He has one lease for a year lease. Karen is saying he has 300 plus room rentals. So he has 300 rentals, room rentals. You can call it doors. So it's a good model. It's a good model. He actually builds houses too, for the room rentals, but his is more luxury. Like he'll have common areas for the tenants. He wants the tenants to. He's looking for a younger crowd too than what Marquise is. He wants professionals, almost like the travel nurses, and so he's going to have really nice kitchens and common areas and things like that. Whereas Marquise's model, he's basically took out the kitchen, put a bathroom there, took out the living room, dining room, made those bedrooms.
Right. And
Marquise's model is closer to pad split. So you guys should look up pad split also, padsplit.com. Marquise's model is closer to pad split. As a matter of fact, on pad split, you give them the dimensions of the property. They'll tell you how to break it up into bedrooms and bathrooms. And so for those of you guys on here that aren't familiar with what we're talking about, we're basically renting rooms to double or triple our cash flow or double, triple our rent. I think Marquise was, if he was able to rent out all 4 of his rooms, he was going to get, I think it was 4125.
Mm-hmm.
And if he just rented out the whole house, he was going to get how much? Like 1800 or something, he said?
He's getting 1500 now. He's been getting 1500.
Yeah. So from 1500, so you like 3 times that is what he'll be coming close to getting by renting rooms. Now, I would imagine the downside for me is, and I could be wrong, it's like it's more property management. And so I'm on the fence on whether to do. I've got a couple of properties in Baltimore. I'm thinking about doing it now. And a tenant that just moved out.
I kind of feel the same way. That 5 in that space, you know, I wonder if the tenants would get like claustrophobic or if that was a big deal for them.
No. So what happens is, if you get the right people, and that's going back to what Marquis about getting the right people,
right,
is that the mindset, the frame of mind that they in, it doesn't bother them.
Right.
They're fine with that. People who my tenants, a lot of my tenants are coming out of shelters off the streets, so that puts them in a different mindset. So I'm not sure how Marquise is finding people who are not coming off the streets, or just, and maybe people just don't have, I don't know, good credit. I'm not sure. I need to talk to Marquise more. I need that.
Right, because I don't think he's finding them off the street. They're maybe a level lower than professional with their employment. You know, they're doing the DoorDash and you know, that type of work. Some of them may have security work.
Yeah. So, Greg, maybe we need to get Marquise under the bright light and ask him some more questions.
He'll answer them, boy. I didn't think he's going to stop talking on that. I was cold. It was raining. In my mind, I was like, "Will Marquise stop talking? Like, I'm ready to go."
Yeah, it was good. It's great information.
He was in his element, man, and just talking like a sailor talks.
Uh-huh.
Dana's used to that, though. He didn't mind.
Yeah, no, I didn't mind because I was getting information. It was interesting for me.
I felt bad for Candace, though. I felt so bad for her.
Yeah.
All right. Any other comments, you guys, about what we?
So I have another question.
Go ahead.
So with this model that we're on right now, okay, when it comes to a hard money loan, if I want to go hard money, now I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong, lenders like the whole rooming scenario. Is that right or wrong? Is that true or false?
I would say true.
Yeah. So hard money, I go to this. I have a hard money lender who does the hard money, then he goes right into a regular loan for you. So, but if they are in on how I'm laying this place out, it's going to probably might become obvious to what I'm doing, and then now, you know, you gonna rent this out room. We don't, you know, we're not interested in that. So I wanted that to be an issue, and I might just call and ask him straight up. Well, go ahead. What are you gonna say?
Yeah, you can ask him straight up. I don't think it's gonna be an issue.
And maybe Dana, you go a level just a tad lower and look for a private lender.
A private, well, the thing is that when I go into my 30 year, when I come out the hard money, I got to go into a full-term loan. And, you know, are there private lenders doing full-term loans, I guess?
Yeah, keep in mind, only thing that they're going to look for is your lease. And so when you refinance out, they're going to look, you're going to try to do a DSCR loan.
I need to learn more about that.
And so with a DSCR loan, they're primarily looking at the financials of the property. The financials of the property is going to show one lease, It's going to be in the name of an LLC on the lease, and it's going to show that you're getting, whatever, $3,000, $4,000 a month,
Okay.
and the mortgage payment's going to be $1,000 a month. So you get that loan all day long.
Okay, so yeah, I got a bunch of questions, but I'll ask him because he's the lender. I won't take you through all that, but I'll ask him about the ins and outs, the bones of it, and how that will work. Cause when you say that, I'm thinking, okay, I got a hard money to renovate the property. I'm going right from renovation to a full term loan, and I don't have tenants yet because I just got finished renovating the property. So I can't produce a lease, an active lease that's drawn. You know what I mean? That's showing up in my bank account because they want to see your bank accounts too.
So look at it this way. So you're what you're describing is the BRRRR method.
Yes.
You're describing BRRRR. So BRRRR is you're going to buy the property right. You're going to renovate the property. Then you're going to rent the property. Then you're going to refinance the property.
Okay, so you rent it first.
And then you're going to repeat the process.
Okay, so I just need to hurry up and get that thing done and get my tenants in before my hard money term is up.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And then most of these hard money lenders now give you a year.
Okay. That's plenty of time.
Yeah, that's plenty of time. And so you're going to rent it out. And then once you rent it out, then you refinance it. Then they're going to look at the lease.
Right.
And see how much income you're getting in. So Karen has a question. How's Marquise getting this targeted audience that he's looking for? I think initially he's got to hook up with a church. I think he said all these guys was from the same church, but you can find these guys on like Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist. You can rent rooms there. There's a number of different places that you can, and he's just trying to get like the same gender. He's basically trying to get the same gender, same age range. That's all he's trying to do. So he's going through a screening process, and he doesn't want to mix it up, men and women. And I agree with that.
Mm-hmm. And I think he has a good concept in his model of tenant, because that person that he described probably really doesn't want to move around a lot. They just kind of want to just get settled to themselves, to them, that introvert he was speaking of, and just doesn't want to. So I was kind of digging what he was his model.
And so the reason why he's doing it, I mean, the obvious reason is the money. But then when you listen to Sam Wiegert, he talks about, like, he has all the statistics. So he talks about the lack of affordable housing in America, and that people want to live in good areas but can't afford it. And then oftentimes people don't need, like the digital nomads, they don't need all the luxuries. They're happy with a bedroom and a bathroom. They'll even share a bathroom. As long as the place is clean, decent area. I would call the area that Marquise was in a C. I call it a C neighborhood. I own a property. You guys have been to it. In that same zip code, about a half a mile away, in Bel Air, Edison. And so, which is a C neighborhood. I bought that one for $40,000 about 3 or 4 years ago. 4 years ago, on Lake Avenue. I don't know if you guys remember going to that.
Yep, I know Lake. That was the one that had that motorcycle tied up to the. Yeah.
So that's a 3-bedroom, 1 full bath house that I bought for $40,000, put $20,000 into it, I think Marquise said it's worth almost 200,000 now.
Wow.
And I've had 2 tenants in there, 2 Section 8 tenants. I have a Section 8 tenant there now.
Mhm.
So it works. So
And
that
that's another.
works.
Mhm. I was gonna say that's another thing in Baltimore is I think Baltimore's gonna really come up. So that's another thought of mine is to gaining entry before it's too late.
Well,
Yeah.
the areas that we've been looking at are superb, like the Patterson Park area, and there's some other areas that I know of that we haven't even really hit just yet. Nice neighborhoods. If you go a little bit north of downtown,
Right.
but that's good, Dana, that you're thinking. You're at least thinking Baltimore a little bit more.
Yeah. That I think that trip Saturday did it. I've been wondering, but that kind of pushed me over the edge.
Mark standing there in the rain, listening to Marquise did it.
Yeah, yes, that did it. Because see, Marquise makes things clear. He's after what he's after, and he focuses on what he's after, and that kind of clears some things up. But I still have a bunch of questions about Baltimore, like tenant removal and just other questions. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and go in that direction.
Okay. Well, we'll be there Saturday as well. Karen is asking, could you do co-living through a lease option? And I don't think so. I don't think a landlord's going to let you. See, with co-living, you're making more bedrooms. You're having more bedrooms in the house. Unless you leave the floor plan the way it is, yeah, a landlord will let you do that all day long. Through a lease option. Yeah, all day long. Matter of fact, even if it's not a lease option, if it's cash flowing, they'll let you do it. It's called rental corporate lease. It's really called rental arbitrage. So you can do that. But if you're doing sort of pad split or what we witnessed Marquise do on Saturday, they're not going to let you do that. You can't do that until you own the property. Marquise took when we saw the property Saturday, he was building the property out for bedrooms.
Mm-hmm.
So he had his studs. He was putting his studs up in the living room for a bedroom, for the door, closet. He was putting his studs up for the dining room. He took a bedroom down upstairs and put in a bathroom. Landlord's not going to let you do all that, but they'll allow you to keep the floor plan the way it is. And if you want to rent out rooms, I mean, you've got to be transparent with them and let them know. But to do what Marquise was doing, you got to own the property first.
Greg, do you think there's any fire code considerations at all with what Marquise is doing?
That's a good question.
I don't think so. He may want to put up an extra fire. What's it called? Smoke detector.
Yeah.
But fire code, because you got 5 people in the house. I don't think so.
Yeah, that's a good question, Keith. I'm glad you asked that because I'm wondering, are you under a different umbrella of rules doing room rentals? Even though, and I need to know that for myself because I'm doing that. Some places require sprinkler systems. Some like I know assisted living, you got to have sprinkler systems and things like that. I wonder if we fall into any of those type of rulings.
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so.
But it's worth finding out before you go dumping a lot of money into a property, making those changes.
I think the number one thing, you guys, is we've got to take action and start buying some properties.
So,
Mm.
is it all right if I ask a question off of this topic?
Yeah.
I have a question, but it's not really in line with what we're talking about. So, in a subject two, and you might have asked this before at some point, how can I be sure that that owner is not going to renege on me? Say if I went to a subject to agreement, renovated the property, ready to put it on the market. How can I be 100%? Can I be 100% sure that that landlord say, well, you know what? I think I'm not gonna sell my property. I'm just gonna. I know they can't. If I got a lien on, it, they can't sell it. But if they decide, hey, I'm gonna move in this property, and now I'm my renovations money in the property. Is there a way to protect myself from that?
Yeah, I mean, you've got to put a lien on the property, and then you just got to go through it. But if you're doing a true, if you're doing a true subject to, then you're actually going to own the property. You're going to do a full settlement. You're going to.
That's what I want to know. That's that one doing a what?
You're going to own the property. They're going to deed the property over to you.
That's what I want to know. Okay, and then I'm good.
Yeah, it's your property now.
Yeah, that's okay.
And the only issue now is just the mortgage is going to stay in their name. So you got to keep up.
No,
so now it's you to keep up with the mortgage.
Right. No, that's good. I just want to make sure they can't, play any games with it. That's what I need to know. That's great. Because I want to do some flipping, but under subject to rulings, or subject to methods.
Okay. All right. Anything else, you guys? So again, you guys, we've got some opportunities for you guys to network with each other, learn. We have another networking event this Thursday at the Crown Plaza. We'll have food. You guys will have an opportunity to network. I'll make sure that I'll try and make sure that Marquise is there so you guys can pick his brain. I got to promise him to buy him his favorite drink. But Dana, you could buy him a drink, can't you?
Yeah, I think I can do that.
No, I'll do that. I'll do that. So, so Thursday we have the networking event, Crown Plaza. Try to be there. Friday we have our lunch and learn. I'm going to be talking about lease options and why you should consider, and why I've done lease options. And then on Saturday we have a house tour. You guys should be getting emails and flyers and all those kinds of things on those three events. So we have lots of opportunity this week, you guys, to come out and network and learn and take your business to another level. We did that with this past Saturday. It was kind of impromptu, and it was just wonderful. It's like a master class. We went through the house. I'll take those of you guys that came. I'll take you guys back through there when he's done. But that was wonderful. That was wonderful.
Actually, I think Saturday, if we go Saturday, I'm going to try to slide over there and just take a look. I just want to see the progress. I'm going to ask him, Rosario, if I do that.
Yeah, he's been over there every day. He called me Sunday from over there. He's excited. We gave him the idea of the refrigerators. That each tenant could have their own refrigerator, and he found some, so he was excited about it. And they were a little bigger than what I even had in mind, but he said they fit perfectly.
Okay.
Jade got on here late, so she missed her question. Do you think we should answer her question, or we should?
You want to repeat it again?
Should we teach her a lesson that she should get to these meetings on time, especially if she's going to ask a question? What do you think, Dana?
Well, you didn't answer mine again when I got on. So, but Jade she's a little bit more special than me. So yeah, maybe you should answer the question for her.
Yeah, she's
She's
special.
a better
All
student
right.
than I am.
She's a much better student than you are, Dana.
Yes, correct.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right. I think I remember the question. She did say pretty please. So I think the question was about the water meter. So it's two different scenarios, Jade. It's if it already has a water meter, then you don't have to worry about it. I mean, it's separately metered, and I don't know if in Baltimore if it's WSSC, whoever the water company is, that tenant pays that water bill. If it's not separately metered, there's just one water bill for the whole building. I wouldn't change anything. I would just charge the rent accordingly, knowing that you're responsible for the water bill. So I don't have a 6-unit. I have a 2-unit in Baltimore, and I'm responsible for the water bill, but I charge accordingly.
So you add it in.
Yeah. And for example, with Marquise, his is not a 6-unit building, but he's got 5 people living there or will be living there. He's not charging anything for utilities. He's building that in.
Mm-hmm.
Jade is asking how would she know, I think, the average bill before the tenants show up. And so the water company will tell you that. You can call the water company and they'll give you the average.
So what kind of property is Jade speaking of?
She's speaking.
What kind of rental?
She's I think she's trying to buy, I think, Keith, she's trying to buy a 6-unit building.
Yeah, she doesn't mention it in her question. She's just saying Baltimore multi-units.
So now when you got 5 adults, it's one thing to have 2 adults and 3 children as a family, but 5 adults, that can be considerably more water, especially you got washers and dryers and washing machines in there. That can be considerably more water being used with 5 adults in the house.
Well, you charge accordingly.
Right. Then that's the reason I stated that. It's because you have to.
So she's looking at a threeplex, a triplex, so three units, and
1 bill.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I would think an extra $100 a month is a good number.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll make a profit off of that.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You'll definitely make a profit off of that. All right, you guys. I'm fighting a little bug coming my way. I'm trying to fight it so it don't come all the way. So I'm gonna relax a little bit.
Okay.
Thanks for hanging in there, brother.
Yeah, it was a good session. I appreciate it.
All right, you guys. Again, hopefully we see you guys in the next couple days. Lots of opportunity to learn. We need to start buying more properties. If you guys have any questions, you know how to get a hold of us. If you or anyone else that is not part of our coaching program, contact either me or Keith. Hopefully, we'll see you guys Thursday at our investor happy hour. Lunch and learn if you guys are available on Friday. I think for especially those of you who are not buying properties, one of the first properties that I ever bought was a lease option. At least my very first family house, not investment. I bought like four investment properties. Then I bought like a family house out here in Bowie. It was a lease option. And then 2 years later, I financed and bought the property. Held that property for about 15 years and sold that to move into the house I'm in now. But my first family house started off as a lease option. And so come learn about lease options on Friday. And you can do a lot of what we talked about in terms of not necessarily the co-living, unless you keep the floor plan the way it is, but like travel nurses, you can start those off as lease options, get the cash flow, and then finance those and buy those in like 2 years. That's a great strategy. All right, you guys, I'm out. Take care.
All right.
Thanks a lot, Dana.
Thanks, Keith.
Thanks,
All
Dana.
right.
You guys have a good evening.
Okay.
All right. Everybody take care. All right. Bye-bye.